everybody. My name is Ahmed. I'm a PhD student in British University in Dubai, UAE. Today I will talk about the Knowledge and Human Development Authority in Dubai, which is called KHDA, Open Data, and what do researchers want. So you might notice that the name here is different, but it's written in the papers. But this has come because the reviewer asked to have a shorter version of the name, and that's why now it's come like this. In this session, I will start with the introduction, giving a brief about Dubai Pulse, then discuss the methodology and the analysis, go into the discussion and conclusion, listing the references, and open the table for questions. We will start by defining the data and open data. Data is considered the main factor for information technology revolution. A piece of content or data is open if anyone is free to use, reuse, or redistribute. So the access of the data, and it could be accessible and free to use, may make it open. And the data or the provided data or the open data should not be sensitive, like to expose some personal information for the category of people we are providing their data. So it should be aggregated in a way just to hide the personal information. Usually when talking about the data, open data, we are talking about government institutes providing these open data. And usually there is one entity for the government is responsible just to manage all open data for the other government institutes. One of the criteria of the open data, it must be machine readable and human readable. So how to deal with open data? Open data, it just comes in many different formats. It could be like an Excel sheet, it could be like a separated files in a different tab, or it's come like a tables or any format. So we can do many things on order just to extract the information and the knowledge from these open data, like doing some aggregate calculations, or doing some summarization, doing charts, or just to apply it for the software that can apply artificial intelligence algorithm in order just to predict future data. Usually open data covers many of domains, like education, transportation, crime and security, municipality, health, and many other domains. In this study, we will focus on the education as it's part of the KHDA. Why open data is important? Open data provides transparency for government performance, also considers a poster for information technology industry, and participating and collaborating between public and the private sector. That gives the ability to provide new services or a new product for citizens and to improve the performance of the government entity itself. Although it's difficult to calculate the return of investment for the open data, some studies claim that open data provide the European economy by billions of euros. So this is debatable because it's not only one factor, too many factors come to make the calculation. So it's not an isolated factor. You can take it and do the calculation and you say, this is the factor, this is the open data, and give you this much improvement on the economy. So it's debatable point. Some debate that it's not easy to calculate, and while others insist or assert on having these billions of benefits on economy. So, by reviewing the literature, we can see that the intention for open data is increasing year by year. Starting by 2000, it's come like a normal, and we can see like in 2010, there's dramatic increase in the scope, and you can see the attention is come more and more, like number of published paper related to open data increasing by the year 2018. 2019 is not included because not finished yet, so it will be like a drop if I put it in the chart, so I keep it aside, but we're expecting it to be higher and higher. So we use open data. Open data can be used by many people or by many entities, like private sector, especially by micro and SMEs, government institute themselves, they can open and to publish data and use it again for improve their performance. Academic institution and researchers and limited volunteer workers. So these categories of people who can use the open data. In our study, we'll focus on academic institution and researchers. So now we want just to explain open data and of Dubai government. Actually, the data law launched in 2015 in Dubai. The data law contained the laws related to open data and how it's regulated in Dubai. So, and that time they launched the Dubai Pulse. The Dubai Pulse is the one government institute is dedicated to manage open data for the entire Dubai government. And this is the link for the Dubai Pulse, and anyone you can go and to browse the data there. Yes, exactly, that one. And this is sample of the data sets there, and you can see how many entities. This is some of them, not all of the organization on Dubai government. And you can see there's DEWA, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. You can find like Dubai Silicon Oasis. You can find like Dubai Chamber, and you can find here KHDA. In our case study, we'll take this part of the entire open data platform, Dubai Pulse, and focus on it. And this is another sample for the dataset and how it's listed there. It's like a CSV files, and also there is an API you can access these open data. So this is the framework and the proposed methodology. What we are doing here is we want to know if this open data is available for researchers. Do the researcher use this open data? Yes or no? We have to find the answer. So what we have in the upper path is that systematic review for all literature that related to open data, KHDA, and Dubai schools and Dubai education. We come just to collect all these data and this paper, remove the duplication and unrelated papers, and come up with the certain number of papers which focus on our study. On the other hand, in the parallel, we have to review and to check the available data sets, what data are provided by KHDA. Then we will compare what they are providing as a KHDA and what researchers are looking for. After that, we will see if there's a gap and to determine what the reason behind these gaps. So the systematic review started from 2015 until today, 2019. Why? Because this is the time where Dubai Pulse started. So based on the provided open data, this is the period we consider. There are some studies, but for sure it will not consider Dubai Pulse because it was not established yet. So, and we come up with one diagram after we calculating the source of data for these papers. We will find that there's a questionnaire and survey like actually the total number or the reduction, it's come like 39 published paper we consider in this study. Part of them, like it's like 26 or 27, the questionnaire and survey, this is the source of data. For other, like a case study, we have like 7. Or for interview, we have like 14 or 15. Observation and document reports, and we have like 24. Using open data platform is 0. So it's from none of researchers use open data. So it's kind of like why the open data is available and no one uses it. So further study or analysis for this come. But before that, we have to see that there is a claim that even there are a lot of published open data sets by government, but indicators show that low usefulness of it. And this is because either low skills and low knowledge of users, or difficult for user to find their required data. Also, user must have a good knowledge and technical background like Sparkle or any other languages that need to be process the data. Okay. Also, there are some challenges that hinder of open data from being used. These challenges like governance challenges, economic challenges, legal framework, data-related challenges, and metadata, access to open data, and user skills. And here we will focus that data related. We want to see if this data related to the researchers or not. So usually when we want to manipulate the data sets and to see how to extract the information from the open data, we can use one of these three ways or any combination or any other ways. Usually it's by machine learning or linked open data or standard filtering and operation of data visualization. In our case, we use machine learning and a standard filtration option and data visualization. But in paper, we only describe this part because this needs another paper just to describe it in detail. But the machine learning, we use it only just for prediction, the future of the rating for the schools. We're coming to this point. Okay, so here is explanation what data set of KHDA provide. It's to provide free zone higher education program institutes with number of 705 records, free zone and higher education institutes with 39 records, private training institute courses and activities, number of courses in Dubai is like 52,209 records, and the private school enrollment and training capacity for the period between 2012 until 2017, with a total of 838 records. So, is the data provided by KHDA is useful? So we do some exercises just to know what the data can be extracted, and this is sample of the data extracted from these data sets. So we come up like a list of parent activity ordered by the number of courses. So this is number of courses. So you can see the majority of the courses is come like in professional and management development trainings with like 32,000 courses coming for this topic. After that, it's come like technical and occupational skills training with 6,000. So you can find the gap where the people go to the training, where the training courses are provided by KHDA. This is really good information, and who can work on it? Like as we said before, it could be SMEs, it could be private sector, it could be educational centers itself. Another way just to see the data provided, this is a map for Dubai. It's like a heat map, and you can notice there is the location of these institutes where are located. And this is providing good information. If you can see, here's the academic city, which we are located now here. You can find here a lot of institutes and government, and universities and training centers. And you can find in this spot is like the knowledge village. The knowledge village, which have a lot of institutes. Also, you can find in this area, I believe it's near Sheikh Zayed, so you can see the location and how many schools and institutes located in the same area. Also in the Silicon, you can find some of them there. So this gives you a big vision for the location of the business. If I want to target, let's say, some educational services, printing or libraries, I have to locate myself something in between. So this is one way also to present the data. So this will be a good example for the usefulness of the KHDA open data set. At the end, we want to compare the matrix between what researchers are looking for and what KHDA provide. In the first 5, we listed the areas that are provided by KHDA, and we say this area, free zone and higher education program institutes, is provided by KHDA but never used in any research. And so on for the higher education institute itself, and for private school enrollment, and so on. And from 5 and down, this is the area where it's come like researchers are looking for these data. And it's come like school curriculum and program, school facilities, students, parents, health, special needs, education, school policies, and teacher. You can find that the first 4 is provided by KHDA and never used by researchers. And the last, let's say, 6, it's like not provided by KHDA and researchers looking for, and you can see one in common, like school and curriculum programs is provided by KHDA and researchers looking for it. And we have like 12 papers doing this research based on this area. But surprisingly, no one used the open data. Data is there, but no one uses it. And we have to do actually more investigate to know why. When we go to the papers and read it carefully, and having the data from KHDA in front of us, we notice that the KHDA provided very high level information about curriculum. It's like a curriculum have provided for each school, what the curriculum provided for each school. While researchers looking for what the curriculum affecting the student performance and how affecting the teachers. So it's come like deep detail for the curriculums and affecting for the student and education level. Although it's the same area, but it's a different point of view. So they are providing some data, again, but it's not useful for the researcher as they want more detailed data. So we come to the conclusion, although the result shows none of published papers using KHDA open data, the analysis of KHDA data shows a useful data about Dubai educational system in general. So I know the location, I know there is some courses are listed with the attention for people to go for any type of courses. As most researchers are looking for student details, if we go back to the previous one, you can see like the 23 are looking for student details, which is not provided totally by KHDA. So KHDA should take this into consideration and to provide more information about the students in order just to help the researchers, in order to help them to do more researches on the educational area. So KHDA needs to consider publishing data related to the student, curriculum, programs, information, health, special needs educations, policies, and teacher programs, and school facilities. Finally, open data should be manipulated to become a machine readable. One of the issues we face with the KHDA data that it needs a lot of pre-processing in order just to feed it to the AI program, because it's come like some text, like it's an open text, is not standard, so you need to manipulate it in a way, in a column, just to have in a good way, just to feed it to the system. So it took us a lot of time just to having this manipulation. For future work, we want to check if the KHDA dataset is used by other data users, because we see there is a lot of, actually 4 kinds of users who they can use the open data. One of them is the researcher, while like a government institute or let's say private sector, we did not cover it with this study. We have to check if this data provided can help them more or not. We cannot tell until we do the further study. To check if the usefulness of the government entities dataset for researchers, we take one KHDA. There are a lot of open data entities there. So we can take other entity and to check also the PyPulse dataset rating schema. Is there a schema for these datasets or no? So how I know this is, I can depend on this data or not. So it's open now. It's not nothing, no indicator there and show that this data set is like the citation in public papers. This is cited and this is how many used before and how many entity depending on that. This give me more information about this data will be useful for me or not. And a list of references, and I open the table for questions.
Are there any questions?